but like, yeah, the average savings account like 2, 1.5, 2. Yeah, but even still, though, I mean, the best they can offer, we just smoke them. I mean, look at this, 26% is the lowest one we got.
Mm-hmm. 10K, $10 a day, 10K. And if you like both coins, permanent loss, do your research, understand it, don't be scared. That's the biggest thing too. Everyone, I get so many comments and so many just no, I don't know how to say chilling. It's almost like a chilling effect. So many people just cold on LP because they hear impermanent loss, and they could watch a video 50 times and still, I mean, still it is kind of this concept that's like, whoa, like there's a lot of moving parts. But it just, so many people get turned off by it, by either not understanding it or not wanting to understand it, so they don't participate. And hey, maybe they've said themselves for being wrecked. That's a thing too. But again, we were talking about this green room. I did a poll. There are at least hundreds of people who answered the poll who said they're making $20 an hour, not a day, an hour, in some of these pools. And like you said here, the lowest one we have right now is 26%. It used to be a lot higher. I imagine a lot of people have been participating over the last over a month. We've been launched now. I love the way that I do like the elevator pitch of being able to connect to real world with the types of yield you can get in crypto, and in these LP farms and stuff too. We'll talk about PHUX as well, but what have you I guess, what is, to me, the most exciting thing about this whole number hasn't went extremely up yet. If it ever does, we certainly hope it does. What have you been playing with? Has it been LP? Has it been farms? And like, what has been some things that have kept you excited during this period of not euphoria, shall we say?
Yeah. So I've never been skeptical of LP. I'm a realist when it comes to it. So I know at the very beginning when Pulse launched in a ratio trading time, I was skeptical using LP because of um, the volatility in the first couple of days. Right, it was extreme. You can see it on the chart. And so, let's say I put stablecoin with my Pulse or PulseX, I may have lost all that one way or the other. Right, and so maybe I would have been at a bad position. But right now, though, we're not moving that fast. So it's kind of a gradual movement. Even though it's a lot of trading, a lot of volume, it's not extreme. We don't have big whales dumping their entire bags right now. I mean, we may hit 100K buy or sell here and there, but nothing's really extreme right now. So the movement of the coin, and it's back and forth buys and sells because we're kind of running sideways. And so I've been using personally the PulseX pair as my main pair, and then using that the farm on V1 from the incentive token, and using that then to DCA into more Pulse, just to accumulate more. And then I dabbled in the PulseX ink pair, so I got some of that also. And then, but it's not a lot of liquidity there, so it doesn't put out a lot, as well as the USDC Pulse pair, just kind of spreading out the potential of impermanent loss, but also hedging with a movement in the market. So you got to think about these things, and it's complicated. It is complicated. I'll admit, but on each of those, I don't care which one I get the most of because they all have value, or because they all have bonded liquidity, except for the USDC coin. But even if I get a bunch of it, I can just buy the token I want, whether it's incentive token, Pulse, or PulseX, say. So I'm not too worried about that as much. So even if I lose all my Pulse, I'm getting a good deal on it because I'm selling it, above. Let's say today it's still above SAC rate. So,
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the stablecoin pairs is, the impermanent loss is essentially you're just selling it. You're just selling your Pulse, for example. And it may not be at the 10,000x you're looking for or whatever else target you want, but it's not as if, it's what I think people get in this black hole of like, impermanent loss means I'm going to lose my coins. I think there's more to it than that.
Well, let's say you did that a month ago or 3 weeks ago, before we hit below SAC rate, right? You started. You would have lost. People were selling their tokens, and you got more stable coins, right? That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then people sold. You got more stable, But then when it went way back up, then you got a good deal, right? Because you went the other way. People were buying, and you got Pulse at a good deal. And so plus you're an incentive token the whole way, which you could buy other things with, or farm or whatever. So when you get back up to where you were, as you move these ranges, your permanent loss is almost negligible because you can always pull it and buy back the tokens You've earned incentive all the way, so you've gained something else. So you really shouldn't have any loss in the net, unless we have some extreme movement and we just go to the bottom or we moon real quick. You say.
In the market conditions too, I think, at least for me, I treat participating in the farms differently now than I would if we're in a bull market, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the risk of volatility, in my opinion, just the way I treat my stuff, not financial advice, but the way I treat it now would be differently than what I would treat it if I knew we were in a bull, because there's just to me, I don't see it as being as risky as participating, and it's almost like this free accumulation. It's like I can accumulate ink. I feel it's less risky. These market conditions are less risky. The sideways, low volatility, high volume is better right now than what it may be next year or the year after, when we hope things start heating up. So there's all these factors that allow you to turn these knobs and understand the different risks with it.
So let's say you're an ink farmer and you just dump your ink for Pulse or PulseX, right, or whatever. And so let's say you get anywhere from 10 to 100,000 Pulse a day, which ain't a lot. I know, just $2, right? But you're buying it now on a cheap side, right? It's all bond liquidity. You don't even get, no matter what the price does, you only stay within those ranges. You don't get too far because everything's bonded together. Well, that's coins you're stocking up for the bull, if you think about it that way. So when the bull market hits, you can have all these coins you got for free, basically, that you have now. You can go to liquid loans, you can borrow against, all this stuff. It gives you more economic energy to do other things. You can use arbitration strategies or anything like that. So you really basically set yourself up for success when everything starts really blowing and going in the bull.